adventure in Beneath the Waves, part 18 of our Four Keeps adventure. Today is August 15th, 2022, and you are loved. And that is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards where anywhere audio casts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to, again, join us at patreon.com/indooradventures. The easiest way to ask us those questions, of course, is to join us on Discord. The link can be found in the Twitch chat to the side or in the description of this video or audio cast down below. But let's say you already support us on Patreon, you already support us on Twitch and Twitter and all of those other wonderful places, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this fantastic show even more? Guess what, Acorns? We got your back, quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, journals, stickers, posters, and we also have face masks. That's right, we got face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf 1201, where the proceeds of those face masks and all of our other merch is currently going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause or possibly help support the show, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey, RJ, who are you playing today?
Hey everybody, I'm Arjhan, and today I'm playing Caelum, the Shatterkai Wizard. We both go by he, him.
Hello everybody, I'm LBHackEmUp. I'll be playing Gwen, the Halfling Fighter Barbarian. We both go by she, her. This is Krieg. He goes by he, him, and he is playing the Lard.
Hoi, I'm Cyber. I use he or whatever pronouns. I play Arjhan. Arjhan is a draconian diver. He, him.
Hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener, she, her. I'm going to be playing as Cori under the Eldritch Paladin, she, they, and he.
Why is that so hard to say your own name?
I don't know who I am.
Hello,
I feel
everybody. I am the Indoor Adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, last we left off, your group fought Agravain. It was excellent. It was a glorious combat. There was just aerial combat involved. There were owlin abominations, and the entire thing took, all things considered, roughly like 18, 20 seconds at best, if we're looking at the overall dynamics of turn order and the actual passage of time throughout that. It was at this point that you ended up reconvening with Shao, who was not dead, as previously alluded to 2 sessions ago, but was, however, separated from their weapon in a very, very poor state. Thankfully, with the help of some healing magics, you were able to bring him back. However, the numbers and the sheer groups of the Bright Wardens was not what they once were, having lost many a fighter within the assault against the Nightsworn. At this point, your group made your way back to the Shimmering Eyrie, where you were greeted as heroes by the Bright Wardens themselves. Overall, the morale was, again, a little shaken because of the sheer amount of casualties that they had undergone. However, they were still thankful for your assistance. At that point, you ended up going into Wormcrawl Cavern, a large cave with a surprising lack of worms under it, or inside of it, underneath the Shimmering Eyrie. It was at that point that you came into contact with one of the Elder Evils, disguised in a human form, a creature or entity known simply as Tharisden. It was at that point that Tharisden ended up giving Gwen a small black book and a lovely mechanical pen, with the assumption, hope, that, maybe Gwen would write a story or two. who's to say? It was at that point that Tharizdun also ended up giving you the tuning fork that is required to go to the layer of the abyss that is controlled by Orcus. At this, your group decided, okay, we have all of our stuff. I have been pinged, being told that our submersible is ready. Let's beat feet and get the hell out of this place, having spent so much time in the Shimmering Area. At this point, Shao was again incredibly thankful for the assistance that you had provided. Caelum, you took some extra time to speak with Atris, the wizened old mystic here in the Shimmering Area, and one of your final acts of goodness to them was bestowing a potion of longevity to this bird man, who, upon its consumption, turned into a rather dapper, strong, sophisticated Birdman, returning to the prime of their youth, to which they offered a trade, a goodie for you, as it were, being the Manual of Bodily Health, which Caelum, you then insisted that Gwen had to spend some time to read. As much as she didn't want to, it was going to be beneficial if she read this book. At that point, again, a portal, gate, mystical mode of transportation emerged on the deck of the Moonrunner by an Abishai wearing a denim vest named Scooter, who was, well, legally distinct Scooter, who was going to take you down to the Hells so that way you could finally make good on this mechanical contraption that you had just spent the last, 18 episodes or so getting constructed in the background. So that is where we are picking up, is your group being taken through this portal. And this is not your first time going to the Hells. This is not your first time this arc going to the Hells. This is not your third time going to the Hells this arc. You have been to the Hells a multitude of times. And so the entire process is like your body is sort of like acclimating to it. It's not as jarring knowing kind of what's there this time around. And you arrive. At this point, you like the portal opens and you walk into what you know as Stone Mantle R&D, where you are actually getting not just the mechanical tyrant built, but also this apparatus of Qualish built. And when you arrive, you can see that there is this like ship-sized mechanical dragon that you recognize as the mechanical tyrant, and then there's like a smaller one next to it. It looks like the motif is still there, that the people operating on this wanted it to be fully functional. And as your group takes look, Bridget sort of like, you can see is like welding something on top and looks over, goggles up and just, oh hi, it's nice for y'all to actually come and make it. I'm so glad. And from the depths of this research facility, you hear, oh, my lovely daughter, it's so good to fight. And like, Euglon Jonquil, who has been stuck in the Hells for the last month, has finally recognized a familiar face, the familiar face of his offspring, being Cori, who is, I believe, female presenting, but currently in summer form. So his daughter. Yes. And he like, it's one of those, like, he rushes up, skids to a halt. There's like that plume of dust and debris that comes from him, and he just latches on into a deep hug. It says, it's so good to finally see you again. I always get worried, it's a father's job to worry, especially when you're out doing all sorts of wonderful things. I'm so, how
Mr. Jonquil, I'm Caelum. Cori's over there.
Yes, of course, father, but I'm over here.
I was doing my rounds, hugging everyone who needs it.
Hi, Pink Daddy.
And Yuan like looks at you, and there's an eyebrow raise, and he gives you a hug, Gwen, and he says, it's not the first time this month I've been called that. And he's sort of like just like backs up a little bit straighter, and then to Arjhan, he
Hello.
gives a little bit of a bow, and he says, "I remember you aren't exactly a hugger, so good to see you. First and foremost, as my patron for this, not like, the patron I'm familiar with the way warlocks work at a very intimate level with all of the people that you've been having me work alongside. As my proprietor, I would like to say welcome to Stone Mantle R&D. As you can see, they've deemed that the mechanical tyrant, the large one, and this is the apparatus of Arjhan, as we've been calling it."
Okay.
And Bridget hops down, using her wings to sort of intermittently space over. Just, this whole thing, we just finished not too long ago, but I'm fairly certain this is probably mastercraft, some of the best work that we have ever done. And really, we have you to thank for it. The instructions were really clear. Thankfully, honestly, this was written initially by a gnomish fellow, and Pink Daddy over here, he was able to properly read through it all. He said that he hung out with gnomes back in his college days, so really it was just a matter of the translation, getting two and two together. But thankfully, Mr. Jonquil and Kat spent an awful lot of time together and really sussed it out over some late candlelit nights and managed to get everything done and taken care of. So right as rain on that one.
So, what exactly are we looking at?
All right, so we got some fantastic things prepared. If y'all want to follow me, we can take a look at it. First and foremost.
Do you have a manual I can go through?
Yeah, we got manuals. Do you speak Infernal? Because, we have manuals, but, they're for more, worker... we could translate it into, 32 different languages if you want and have it be, a really complicated piece of paper that you have to unfold and try and track down where your language is as far as, the put-together manual spots are. Or, if you like, we can just do common on it.
Common. I'm also a visual learner, so,
Oh, well, if you're a visual learner, then the manual probably won't do you as good, because there's a lot of levers and pulleys and a lot of weird stuff that you need to, be maneuvering.
If you give me a manual, I will be able to transcribe it.
All right. Sounds good. And she will, ruffle around in, one of those large worker tool belts. And you see that, she's reaching deeper than the bottom of the belt would suggest, and you're guessing that this is some sort of, handy haversack situation, a bag of holding, but specifically for their work tools. And they will pull out the instructions to utilize the apparatus of Qualish. So if one of you would like to add that to your inventory, though all four of you will need to operate this machine in unison, so it would probably be best if you all added the apparatus into your character sheets, just so that way you can look at the many, many levers that you will need to be pressing.
Also known as the apparatus of the crab.
Crab.
Turn to crap.
Turn to crab.
I think when there's a quiet moment when everyone's listening to instructions, Gwen turns to Cori and just says, "Do we know who this person is? Have we met this person before?" Not your dad. I know who your dad is.
Bridget.
Bridget, yes. Yes, we have. I recognize the particular cadence. Wasn't it when
did
we
Gwen
needed
go
to
to
get...
the hells and
Pilot the mech?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Wasn't that when we needed to get the eggs of that hellbird creature?
Oh, right. Okay, cool.
She's been around. She's
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah.
She goes here.
Just making sure. Sometimes I forget people.
I believe she's a stone mantle,
Whatever that is.
perhaps.
Is that a qualifier, or is that her race? or her last name.
Are you actually asking?
This is.
I'm asking Cori.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is an interesting choice.
They're listening to what she's actually saying.
Mm-hmm.
So this lever will allow you to descend in any fluid and up to 90 feet per round. Like,
Oh, that's not going to help me anyhow. I'm a tactile learner. I kind of have to do.
Same. Caelum will tell me what to do. That's kind of how I just go through life. Someone's going to tell me what to do.
So, Caelum turning to Arjhan as Bridge is explaining. So when do we get to pilot the big dragon?
Whenever it's done.
It looks fantastic.
yeah. So
I thought you already did a test run of the
That
big
was
dragon.
simulacrum, Caelum.
That wasn't you.
What was it, me?
I think a while back, Richard was first introduced to the rest of the party by getting us to do getting the rest of you to do a sort of test run of the mechanical dragon. I think one of the stone mantles was there with you, but it wasn't you. It was the other. Icy snowman.
Right. Wow, that's a lot of levers.
that's not even all the levers that we have. That's the base model. All right. So we got 2 more levers that we installed onto all of this. One. Now, this was sort of like Cat and I's idea for it, right? Because like we got like, it's a small dragon. What do dragons do? They breathe stuff, right? Like it's either like cold, or sometimes it's steam, or in this case, we were actually able to outsource to get some powerful vitriolic fluid inside of the submersible. So you have 4 charges that do not refill that you can use for the equivalent of an ancient black dragon's breath weapon.
Underwater?
Should you so need it.
Underwater?
That disperses underwater.
Well, look, we can figure out a better way to do it. Honestly, look, it has a land speed as well. We really didn't think that part through.
Oh my
did we?
god. We will be unstoppable.
Wait a
Gwen's
minute.
eyes go into conqueror mode.
Bridget, blueprint paper real quick.
All right, yeah. Hey, Pink Daddy. Papers.
Caelum's gonna do a rough sketch of a ballista bolt, and then instead of a tip, it's a glass jar, and then an arrow, acid.
Oh, so if we just like shot it out as like a container full of the stuff.
A torpedo, yes.
That's what they're called. Cat! Cat, they have names! And you just hear a cackle in the background as like that sort of like saptic like arc welding light just silhouettes a tiefling with large goggles who's just like, yes! And then goes back to what they're doing. Shrieking torpedo.
Caelum points up to the figure and leans down to Gwen. I think that's the stone mantle.
I'm still confused whether it's a place, a last name, or a
people.
race. They're a people,
They're a family.
They're a family.
so it's a last name.
Yes.
Family.
Family Stromberg.
Family.
Then as you kind of describe the torpedo, and they're able to get that situated, no problem. Then Bridget says, and Mr. Jonquil also suggested that we put a failsafe in of sorts. So a failsafe each of you is going to get a key. And at your specific station inside, because we assumed that there was going to be 4 of you, we didn't really like slot for 5. So if you got any extra bodies that are coming in, they're going to either have to stand or get real comfy on the floor. But there is a keyhole into a slot where you turn at each of the stations. So you would each need to insert the key, turn it, and then whoever's at the navigator spot is going to have a button. And then if they push the button, right now the home designation is set to Stone Mantle R&D, just so that way we could test, that it worked and everything. So in case y'all get into any kind of danger, or this thing ends up going, take some damage, I don't know, if you're, running into rocks, or there's a big scary thing down there, wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, then all you got to do is just each one of you turn your keys, hit the go home button, and you will, bam, go home.
Okay.
So that's the fail safe.
How many times can you do that?
Right now, I mean, we tried it once, and after it came back, the whole thing sort of shuttered, everything was a little loose, and then we had to spend some extra time actually tightening it back up. So I would recommend the failsafe probably once, if you don't want to bring it in for maintenance. If you want to do it more than once, there might be a possibility that the whole thing just comes undone, and then we'd have to put it all back together.
Understood.
But again, I mean, if it's a life or death situation, if you got a Baylor looking down at you, who's gonna try and eat the thing. I mean, Baylors aren't that big, but hyperbole, And then you just want to be we need to get out. Keys in, go.
Does the failsafe require 4 entry points?
It does,
Or
yes.
Or is it possible for 2 people to do it?
It would be possible for 2 people to do it, but you got to turn the key, keep it into a position, and then if anything ends up happening to the vehicle, the keys might come undone from where they're at. So it's better to have as many people as possible holding on to it, but just in case.
Can we reduce that to 2?
We can reduce it to 2. Pink Dad will just have to rewire a few things, but that's fine.
You flush the onboard toilet, the self-destruct happens.
All right. So we got here. Apparatus. It's all done. Airtight. Honestly, we took a lot of lessons that we learned from this thing we're applying to the big guy.
Fantastic. We very much like to give this a try and bring it out. How do we get it out of here?
All right. Well, let's see here. Do you got a spell circle or anything like that you're looking to target this on, or you just want it to drop into the ocean somewhere? Or do you prefer it on a land first to really get the element of the controls done?
If I give you a spell circle, could we modify it about thinking, calculating?
We're asking for a lot of modifications.
Well, I was going to say...
This is our arcane modification. This one's fine.
I have a spell circle to Olivia's ship, so if we want to teleport it there, but 50 feet off to the side...
Alter the coordinates.
I don't believe I could do that. We'd at least be able to put it on that circle. And then it's got some legs on it.
Where can you put this right now?
I mean, realistically, wherever you want to that you know the coordinates for. If you're trying to have me do a place that's in motion, probably not. But otherwise...
Do I know the coordinates for Paradise?
Yeah, you would know the coordinates for Paradise.
Paradise.
All right. Sounds good. Well, if y'all just want to hop in, then we can get that taken care of. Unless you just wanted this to go on its own, and then, we got some people that we could have post up, guard it, kill anybody who tries to take it from us.
How soon do we want to leave, everybody? Anything to do in paradise? Mr. Jonquil, do you have a way of returning to the Fae?
And they sort of like,
He's probably going to need a ride.
don't at the moment, but
well,
I have been really enjoying working here. Not just on this smaller one, but I've also kind of been dabbling with... There's a lot of neat machinery down here, and it's... I mean, I can go back, but I'm just saying, I
Would you like an extended contract?
if you wouldn't mind, I would like to renew my contract, yes.
Alright, yeah, I'll just do the standard one.
Okay, yeah, and Jonquil happily signs it.
Have you discussed this with Mother?
I have sent her several missives. Not about redoing the contract, but I think that she would understand. And when he says that, he looks over, and again, you see Kat on top of the mechanical tyrant, and there's like a moment where the two of them lock eyes a little bit. And then she like goes back to what she's doing, and he just sort of like, it'd be beneficial.
So long as you're sure of that.
He nods.
All right. Well, I'm really happy that you've found your niche here.
It is a interesting place. This is one of the first times in several hundred years that I have not been in charge of the facility that I'm working in.
Does your mug say evil?
What? No, well, they give this to everyone here.
Father!
It's like a company mug. Really.
The worst part is I've seen what happens to Eladrin who stay in the hells for too long.
I'll go home once, it's all done, but I just want to make sure that if you're going to be inside that thing, that it's safe, or it can at least blow some shit up on the way.
I'm sure that it will be safe. Particularly because it was made by you.
Well, that wasn't. I've been tinkering with it. This one is. The small one is. The big one, no.
I still remember your training swords that had the corks at the end of them.
Yes. They were important for training. Anyway, Cori, I love you. You know that. And I love your mother. And I love my work.
I love you too. And I love that you're happy. I'll be sure to come visit.
I mean, it seems like you and yours comes here rather often from what I've heard.
Never planned, I assure you. Just sort of happens every now and then.
Shrugs. Just, well, if you need me, I'll be here. And again, like, the benefits are actually surprisingly really nice. But I don't get to use them. Like pay. They offer great rates, but I work all the time. Don't have a chance to use it. Also, what really would I use infernal coinage for?
Have you been to the concert yet?
No, but I've heard about that. It's on First Layer, right? Avernus?
I don't know, but it was amazing.
Well, I know a few folks around here have been saving a long time to go to one of those shows, one of the crown shows, they call it. So, you know what? Maybe I will.
Maybe you should.
And he's left with things to consider at this point. So yeah, as you specify that you want to take this vehicle, your apparatus, to Paradise, and that you would like to go to Paradise as well, there is another Abishai that appears in your group's vicinity. It is Newell. And Newell kind of approaches you, Arjhan, and asks for a brief word.
Very well.
And taking you off to the side, Newell says, since you returned the Lady of Scales to Tiamat, our queen, there have been discoveries, changes, and the audience that had gathered for her was distracted with Agravain's public punishment. Arguably, it was humorous and rightly served, or rightly deserved. However, upon reflection, the Queen Mother, reviewing the statements given by Tylera, was curious when she referenced the potential of other eggs, of other locations that she could potentially seek. The Queen Mother has asked for your advice. You do not have to speak with her directly, as she has stated. You may send the information through me. What she would ask is, do you think it would be in the best interest for the recovery of these other functional eggs? This time, however, being able to fully contact whose eggs these were to sire draconians such as yourself. Tiamat believes, as she told me in confidence, that she believes the way that you have been praising her name has been successful. With these two, she would see them raised in a way that would carry on this legacy. A new start, as she described it. She would ask the question, is Tylera, under her guidance, able to be trusted to retrieve these eggs and perform the ceremonies that were previously performed? To bring more draconians into the world under safer circumstances, more coherent. What is the other word? Consensual circumstances.
Arjhan just has a blank look on his face as they continue on. if I have to say I'm uncomfortable with the idea of mutilating more children, even with their parents' consent. And I would very much like the Queen to know that. But we can talk about it, and she and I can discuss it later.
Of course. I had sensed your presence within the hells and figured, since I was here and you were here, travel is far easier when on the same plane. I will deliver the message. And Newell will bow to you. Your Grace. And then recedes into the shadows.
Gwen just like slides right up next to Arjhan. What the fuck just happened? Are you gonna be a dad?
Keep in mind as well, that conversation was in not
JK.
common. Yeah, that was
Oh,
not
damn it.
like that was
Damn
like
it! Never
dragons
mind.
only, if anything.
That's fine.
Abishai can also speak telepathically.
Gwen's just like, she's not even paying attention. She would be doing something else. She'd be elsewhere.
I mean, Arjhan definitely like looks like dumbfounded.
You good, buddy?
No, I just got asked if I would be okay with my mother
Your mother what?
making more of me.
Like clones?
Not like clones. Like
Siblings?
Like-
That's
like
weird.
twisting some surviving dragon eggs into draconians.
Oh. Oh.
So,
That's
more things like you. More people like you.
Yeah.
Is this bad?
I mean, if, let's say, you had a cousin who was about to have a baby,
Uh-huh.
and someone asked you if you would be okay with taking that baby and quartering their lifespan and breaking their bones and twisting them so that they could only hop on one foot, would you be okay with that?
Well, no. Why would they ask me that?
Why am I being asked this?
I don't know. If you want more of your kind, can't you just make babies?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, I do have a chart that we might be able to reference to see. Oh,
Gwen, I was an experiment.
I know, but I mean, we could get you like the closest shot if that is something you want to do down the line. Okay, sorry, I'll stop talking. What color should we paint this bad boy? Turns back to the machine.
We're going to use this once and give it to Lady Stonemantle.
Yeah, but we can still like custom, like let's put some flames on it or something, make it go faster.
Do you want to do that?
I don't know. I'm just trying to change the conversation, to be honest.
Is everybody ready? Do we want to
Let's
bounce
just
out of here?
go. Let's go.
Did you know that there's a lever specifically designated to... What's a funny one?
There are other alterations that had been made
Yeah,
to the
we
apparatus
might-
to adjust for the size.
We might need that in D&D Beyond.
Yes, I will post these.
I mean, I'm looking at the levers of the apparatus of the crab, and these are all just very like straightforward, like useful things that an apparatus should do.
Okay. Things that this apparatus has been improved on. The AC is 22 instead of 20. The HP maximum is 400. Its swim speed has been doubled to 60 feet. Instead of its cap for how low it can go into the water because of its large size and its plating, it can go up to 2,400 feet under the water. And below that, the vehicle will take 2d4 bludgeoning damage per minute it is underneath that pressure. Furthermore, the claw attacks deal 3d6 damage of bludgeoning and 1d6 acid, and it has its breath weapon.
Which we are functionally making into torpedo launchers.
Torpedoes. Which means that it will still do the 15d8 acid damage. But, or I guess you could make it force damage if you wanted. Because it is an explosion. But you have enough for 4 general uses of that. It would then be a ranged attack using the stats of the apparatus.
How big is the apparatus?
At this point, because it's large enough for 4 people to sit inside of, it's huge. Whereas the mechanical tyrant is gargantuan.
Caelum rummages inside of his bag, pulls out the Ring of Spell Storing and casts a spell into it. Oh, that'll be interesting for later.
Horrifying, but okay.
Oh, I'm gonna need someone else to cast this, animate object, because I can cast the haste spell.
I got it. As a joke.
Anyway, in an emergency, someone can cast, animate object on this thing. I'll be able to cast a haste spell onto it, and we can double our movement.
Arjhan's automated apparatus.
Call AAA. All right. So
Avernus
I'll-
automobile.
I'll take the ring,
Okay.
but I gotta figure out what to
Unattune to.
attune to. I'll unattune to my other ring, but I'm keeping it on me.
okay. So taking this puppy out to paradise. That the goal?
We go.
Okay.
Oh, is the ring of spell storing not attunement?
I believe it is.
Oh, I'm not wearing it. Okay.
Got it.
It is attuned.
Okay. So yeah, Bridget just asks that everyone get inside of the apparatus, so that way, just in case you are near a body of water, she confirms that you are heading to an island, so just to kind of get the general makeup of it, she at least wants y'all to be safe when the teleport kicks. So hopping inside, you can choose who's on claws, who's on like back legs, front legs, who forms the head, all of that kind of good stuff, to determine who's in charge of which levers. And upon arriving inside of this machine, Bridget, then you can see like there are several Abishai that work very quickly to with chalk to actually create a circle around where the machine is, and you see that his name escaped me, Juglon. That Juglon is like waving goodbye. Cat is waving goodbye, and Scooter, legally distinct Scooter, is waving goodbye as well as Bridget hits like one of those giant two-handed levers. A bunch of electricity starts sparking off everywhere. The silhouettes are crazy, being reflected in everyone's goggles, and like you can tell that these Abishai are like, we did the thing! Yes! They're so excited for it.
It's working!
As there is a brilliant flash surrounding you all inside of the apparatus. The flash dissipates and you hear a ka-thunk, and then the crashing of waves as this mechanical apparatus designed to look not like a crab but like a dragon is like in a like at the breaking point of waves on the beach. So like your like back legs are in sand. And I would say it takes maybe about 15, 20 minutes in total for you all to like get really good. Like, okay, like I'm going to hit the lever for the left side. You hit lever for right side. And like there's a lot of communication that has to go on in order to actually utilize these levers on the land. Once you get into the water, you can kind of do it as well. And like this thing that has appeared, the minnows of paradise, the general guard, you can see her like looking at it from the beach. They're very concerned and curious that a creature of legend, though made of steel, has appeared on their shores. And one of the head guards is actually going to come down escorted by about 4 of the lower ones as they sort of call out to ask what this is.
Roll down the window. Evening, officer.
What is the meaning of this? What is
know
this
I pulled you
marvelous
over?
thing that you have here and glistens in the sun?
This is a vehicle. It will be going into the water for a not educational, research expedition.
I see. Well,
We are under a contract by Stonemantle. What's her first name?
Alindra.
Alindra Stonemantle.
And it could be my ass on the line. Are you you are not importing any goods into paradise?
No.
Excellent. Perfect. I will speak with Gaia on your behalf. Make sure that if you are staying at the docks, that you register your craft. Good luck on your research expedition.
We will not be staying. We are leaving at the moment. We just need a. We'll be going immediately.
Yes, of course. And he like bows to you and kind of takes this understanding or takes this direct quote from you. And you see that one of the other minnows is like writing very quickly, so that way they have a statement just in case. And their group then just and walks off.
You just hear in
away.
the background Gwen go, "Hey guys, I think I found the horn button." Oh shit!
Gwen,
I'm
what
sorry,
do
I'm
you
just here
do?
for the comedy today.
Incredible. I imagine there's a moment where like Gwen presses it and really hopes it's the like ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, like really hopes that it is, and then it's not.
Yeah.
But y'all are able to then get.
Are we going beneath the waves? Is that what we're doing?
We're going beneath the waves.
Let's go.
Dive, dive, dive.
I mean, maybe not yet. Like, how far is the? Are we just testing it out?
Oh no, we're going.
Where's the vault?
Figured it out.
Is the vault right next to it?
God, no.
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 We gotta travel.
He left Olivia like 2 islands back.
Do we want to group back up with Olivia? We can just
I don't know.
swim
What do we need
along
to
the
do?
surface.
I was gonna say, let's just bring this to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go meet up with Olivia
Okay.
and possibly let her know that we're coming there and that we might need directions to the Maelstrom.
Can do.
Okay.
Why don't we just figure a rendezvous point? What's a good midway point for us and her?
I assume not at the Maelstrom.
According to my maps.
Well, there is an island between Paradise and Orzaris. That was Nymar, the land of beasts. That would be like the medium point, but then you'd be backtracking, and then you'd have to go past Paradise again. There is a...
Do we want to just say to meet there?
Just meet at the Maelstrom?
At the Isle of Beasts.
Yep.
What's on the Isle of Beasts?
On the Isle of Beasts, from what
Trapped.
you...
Sorry, go on.
From what you were able to speak with Oliviette about, as well as hear from Swift, is that there are creatures who are able to turn into like large bears, like sentient bipedal bears, sentient bipedal wolves. There are creatures that are like along the more like humanoid aspect of it, but then they also have it basically like shifters, tabaxi, lizard folk, yuan-ti, like...
It's Furry Island.
Sure, you could call it that. I don't in my notes. Definitely not.
That makes me think you do call it that in your notes.
No, don't look at my one note.
We're going
Anyway.
to the Island of Beasts.
Okay, going to the Island of Beasts, Nymar. Okay, so, yeah. You end up going, and it's, you know, it's smooth. It's smooth sailing in this, all things considered. It does take a little bit of getting used to, because inside of the apparatus, for where you are, technically you are, like, in the central chamber, which is, like, 3/4 submerged under the surface of the waves. So there is that moment where you're like, okay, we're looking forward, we're looking out of the viewport, and we can still see where we're going, but you haven't, like, fully submerged, and you're not at the same level where you normally are. It takes about... In your apparatus, it would take about a day of travel to actually get to that central meeting point. And you, again, inform Oliviette. And Oliviette then has to ask the question. They don't have anybody to spare to bring your large ship with them. Do you want to leave that ship at the Shimmering Eyrie? The way that you were able to move it before was because Cori and Sigurd were able to control the winds, but without Cori and without Sigurd, there's really just the Moonrunner.
Do you really need that other ship?
I don't think we do. Like, we can, like, we're gonna drop, once we're done, we're gonna drop the apparatus off.
Okay.
And if we need to get another ship, I mean, then we have it.
All right. It's a spare.
Leave
Okay.
it at the Shimmering Isles and probably set something up with Shao and their dockmaster.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So, yeah, you are able to, after this extended travel, you are able to meet back up with Oliviette. And when you arrive, Oliviette, like, there is that like whistle of she's definitely not jealous looking at this awesome mechanical dragon that you have swimming around her boat. And they end up like tying off one of your wings that's able to actually extend out and hold a stabilizer, so that way you can walk across it like a boarding plank. And getting onto her vessel, they begin to kind of like rope it off, so that way they can pull it with the Moonrunner. So everyone's not cramped inside of this vehicle, unless otherwise you kind of want to be. It is now a joint part of what y'all have been doing. But Oliviette also expresses that while you were gone, Shao's guards had actually come looking for you all, as the new Bright Warden, or the new commander of the Bright Wardens, wished to leave a collection of presents, gifts, with the four of you for your assistance. The presents that are yours to give to each other as you see fit are an eagle whistle. An eagle whistle doubles your flying speed as long as you continue to blow on the whistle, and you can do so for your Constitution modifier +5 per round. So as long as you continue to use that eagle whistle, fly expediently. There is a ring of free action as well. There is also a set of plate armor that is included with this as well. And the note says that it was too heavy for any of the Bright Wardens to wear. Hopefully one of you will find a use for it. And it is +2 plate armor of etherealness.
Ooh.
And the fourth gift is a gift that does not have much fanfare. It is a wooden box, and when you open it, there are 5 containers of pigments as well as a fancy-looking brush. And the note says thank you for helping me paint out my feelings. Hopefully, these paints will allow you to create something better. And these are the marvelous pigments.
Caelum's gonna tuck that away. Wow. Oh. Wow. Yeah, Caelum's gonna explain each item in turn. So how do we want to split this up?
Well, I don't believe anybody else can fly.
Eagle whistle to you. It is non-attunement. Cori, what are you rocking for your... What are you wearing for your armor?
Currently necrotic resistant.
He'll give Cori the plate. This'll let you turn ethereal.
Oh my.
For about 10 minutes, actually.
Oh my.
And again, it is +2 armor.
It's rather intense.
Don't get lost. And then the other... Ooh. Oh no. What was the last item?
The Ring of Free Action.
Yeah. Gwen, see if you could fit this in.
Yeah. What does it do?
It does require attunement.
When you wear this ring, difficult terrain doesn't cost you extra movement. In addition, magic can neither reduce your speed nor cause you to be paralyzed or restrained. Think of yourself as a heat-seeking torpedo
It's
when
a
you have this on.
rascally little guy.
My. Oh, God.
Does difficult terrain include underwater?
It would. I would say.
There you go, as the not-so-strongest swimmer here.
Rude, but okay. I mean, it's correct. I'm just saying, you don't have to say it out all the time.
And then, Caelum, since you had picked up Tylera's spell book back when you were in the lab, I sent you the spells that were inside of said spell book. She was a bad lady.
She was a bad lady.
But we
What?
speedran her boss fight.
You did. By talking it out.
Jeezy Pete, that would have sucked.
All right. But you all have been given gifts by Xiao, who was again incredibly thankful for not just saving his life, but also saving his way of life. As such, your group is able to take all of the goodies that you have with you, and over the next several days are going to be making your way in the direction of the Maelstrom. Along the way, Gwen, question. Do you do anything with the book that you've been given?
If I remember correctly, I was told to not write in it at all. Is that correct? I'm not going to do anything with the book. I will open it from time to time, though.
Okay. On the, I would say like the second time that you open it, while you're looking in, you can hear what sounds like a scritching noise. And you actually see words appearing in the page. And it says, "I hope you're doing well."
Well, they told me not to write stories. This isn't a story if I just say hi. You too, buddy. How's life? Question mark.
Life has been
Sorry.
good.
I don't create any conflict, okay? This is me creating conflict.
Yeah, the response that you get when you ask, like, life's been going great, how about yourself? The response is, it has been going well. I feel like I am on the cusp of creating a new recipe.
Recipe for what? Question mark. Goulash?
What is goulash?
You know, I honestly don't know. It's like some sort of stew, maybe?
Caelum walks by. It's a boot. Who are you talking to?
What? Nothing.
Mm.
I'm reading the book you guys told me to read.
Caelum is holding on to the book.
It is a collection of scrolls. Like, it wasn't bound at all. It was, like, tied off.
Is this going to be a problem, Gwen?
Are we just?
I don't think so.
Are we just in this apparatus together?
You are either in the apparatus or on Oliviette's ship. This is after you've already met up with her.
Because we're still heading to the main
Still
ship.
heading to the Maelstrom. This is over the time that is passing while you guys are making your way there.
Okay.
It's time to study, Gwen.
I guess.
Up, don't take that tone with me, Missy.
Okay, what?
There is a pile of scrolls that are handed to you. And you don't know where Caelum pulls it out, but it's like a metal wand, and then it what's it? It periscopes out to like one of those pointing tools.
You end up using Doc's exam room because there's like a whiteboard that you're able to like, okay, let's go over this. And Gwen, as you begin to read it, it is kind of a drag. The first couple chapters. A lot of it is about like proper form. You know, like it really emphasizes the importance of breathing. And this is all stuff that like fairly common. You know, it's not anything wild. It's not anything like out of the ordinary. And you spend Caelum teaches you, and the both of you would end up spending roughly 8 hours learning.
Oh my gods.
And Gwen, this is just like lesson 1 was 8 hours long. You have to do a 400 level class in a week.
No. Gwen is like, she's complaining and then gets really quiet.
Gwen,
What?
well, normally you'd be complaining, but you've been quiet for the last 3 hours.
Just listening. Feel like I'm back in the Catholic Society in school.
Well, think of it this way. Once this is done, you'll never have to do it again, or at least for another 100 years.
Let's pray I don't live that long.
Caelum gives you a face.
Continue, great master of knowledge.
I wouldn't go that far.
And Caelum, you know that in order for the magics to take effect,
It
Gwen
be
has
over.
to be the one who's reading it. You can't just give her the footnotes of this. So you're basically like sitting next to her, just staring at her while she's reading. Like, did you get it?
To busy himself, he like uses the whiteboard and writes. Gwen like lays her head down. There's a piece of chalk that gets flung at her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're doing your best. It's basically you're supervising study hall.
Gwen
Well,
hates every moment.
We will meet back tomorrow, same time. Make sure
I don't get a
you-
day off?
Nope. If we want this to take effect as soon as possible, there are no days off. Academia waits for no one.
Fine.
Okay.
Gwen goes back to her room, pulls open the book. My friend is being such an asshole about this whole learning shit.
And the response that you get is, what how is he being an asshole? Which friend?
It's just like, you know, when you just have to do something which makes you not want to do it even more. He's making me do things that I don't want to do, that I should do, but I don't want to do.
Do you not want to do them?
I mean, I don't want to do them. I know I have to do them.
Is there any way I could assist you?
Gwen's like, like the pen taps the page. It's like, not at this time.
Understandable. The new recipe I've been working on is for a sauce whose name I cannot pronounce.
Is it hot?
No.
Worship.
And you see, like, where's and then it's crossed out. Where's crosses out. It sounds better when I speak it.
Well, let me know when you figure it out, okay, buddy?
Of course. And again, if you need any help, you know where to find me.
Thanks. Closes the book. This is gonna be dangerous. Belt. One secures it with a belt.
Okay.
just for her. Like, she doesn't want to, she's going to get tempted by this book for sure.
Oh,
So she was thinking like, well, just put the knowledge in my head. You could do that, right? I don't have to read it then.
Yeah.
She didn't do it, Arjhan. Don't give me that face.
My DM mind is going crazy.
Likewise, during the travels that lead you to this place, Caelum, as you spend your meditations and are still in the process of trying to draw out the spirit that is inside of your bow, this Kaedrim bow that you have acquired. The first night goes by, and again, it's more of this kind of like this hunting element to it, but one of the things that you encounter is actually like end up killing a deer, fine, and then you end up seeing this large white wolf go over towards said deer and like nom on it, and you can feel a sense of camaraderie with this wolf that has appeared in here, and you feel like that sense of camaraderie is an element to the bow. And the next time that you have this vision as well, it kind of goes more into that, where this wolf doesn't necessarily become domesticated, but it is intelligent enough to consider you a friend. The next time, later on, during one of these, you feel, or like you rear back with a arrow and you knock one in, and you're going to take out a what looks like a boar that is that's drinking out of a river. You can feel a strain occur, and there's a tightness in your chest, and the hands that you see with the arrow knocked back begin to flicker and shift, and you see that the hands are then black gloved. You're no longer in the forest, you're in a city, and where the boar was, there is a humanoid that looks like they are coming out of a bar and walking down a set of these kind of like elaborately constructed streets. But that internal feeling that you have that you've grown used to of hunting beasts in the wood, of hunting these things that you would consider either food or prey, that feeling stays the same when looking at this individual who's walking. And then there's that shift again, and it's back in the woods, and you down the boar. No issue.
Over the course of the next couple of days, Caelum is quiet, even during the study sessions with Gwen. And at some point, he'll call Gwen down to like the cargo room, and he's used the marvelous paints to make gym equipment, essentially.
What's this?
Well, I figured maybe a break day where you get to do some activities described in the book might help you out a bit more. You've been cooped up in the the doctor's room for a few days, so, breaks are good. And there isn't really much activities to do on a ship while it's sailing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is great. Thank you.
Caelum picks up some barbells and just starts pumping iron.
Yeah. And Gwen, following the instructions that have been laid out into the book as well, one of the things that they talk about is the effort to make something that you are concentrating on become natural. And that's like the hardest thought to process, because it is like the idea of breathing and allowing all of your muscles to breathe at the same time, and kind of taking into consideration like what your oxygen flow is, how your muscles move, and what your posture needs to be. And as you are working out, like, you're very used to the Runtax, like with its magical gifts having given you that 20 strength. It's very easy to kind of rely on the magic and the mysticism, but the way that these teachings go isn't necessarily to rely on any extra enhancements. It is all about that kind of level of endurance that kind of comes along with it, and that understanding of what you need. And you can feel that, like, on this day, on this break day where you're able to do like free weights and figure it out with Caelum's help, it's making sense.
Yeah. Gwen is excited about training. She go hard.
Oh, duh.
What?
Caelum reaches into the pocket, unfolds the portable hole, pulls out Hiram's spear. Sorry,
It was so dark.
I apologize, turning to Gwen. I've been working on the bow from the Kaedrim Empire, and I've been seeing flashes of whomever used to be inside, or is still inside.
Oh?
They're a hunter, of sorts.
Okay.
I think they've killed people.
Probably, if they're a hunter.
No, like, they were originally, like, an animal hunter.
Oh, okay.
And turning to Hiram, do memories from your sentient weapons, do they flow into the wielder?
Have my memories flowed into you?
Caelum, I'm trying to remember. No, I don't think so.
Typically, the way that we have worked, the way that we function as armaments for the Empire, is a discussion similar to how we have. I judge you whether you are prized at fighting, whether you have come upon me by mistake and are more of a arcane individual, those such things. It is a conversation. When one is sleeping, or one has been locked away for some time, there is the potential for the stirring of that awakening to ripple out from its source to those who have attached themselves to it. Said that you are seeing a hunter?
At first, the latest dream had them hunting a boar, but at one point the scenery changed. It turned into a city, and he'll begin to describe, like, what he could remember of the city.
And Hiram is familiar with that area of the city, but none of the Kaedrim, none of the, like, military commanders would have been hunting in the way that you described.
Is it only military that give their services as sentient weapons? It's also scholars, correct?
Primarily weapons for the military. Weapons, items, whether they are high-ranking individuals or esteemed, renowned. There were others, though, as I expressed previously. Criminals. Those who would combat us as the Empire using our very own methods.
If I try to remember back, how was the person the bow is being aimed at dressed?
You would have seen that they looked like they were in, like, they were well dressed. You're guessing that they would have been some sort of like upper echelon kind of individual.
Sort of nobility, essentially.
Yeah. As nobility as an empire can have, where it's not the central family.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Gwen, self-study for a few days.
Okay.
Keep it up. You're almost done.
She gives him a, I don't believe you, but okay, smile.
No, actually, you are almost done. Like his voice disappears as he leaves the room.
Mm-hmm. All right, and as the voice disappears and you leave the room, and Gwen, you look over at, like, these sprawled out papers that regretfully have been making more sense as time's gone on. That is where we are going to head into our break for the evening. We're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. Pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon! We're back! Hello, everybody.
It's Simon. What color is our submarine? It's like I keep thinking about yellow submarine, but it's a real shame that the Beatles didn't make submarine in that song green. That would have been sublime.
That would have been. Wow. We've killed LB. She like rolled on the floor in the background. That was a one shot.
I thought the joke was just gonna be saying yellow submarine. I was all like, oh, that's a thing. That's a thing that people know.
Incredible.
Oh,
God.
that's not tea.
Yeah? Is that paint water?
No, it's just coffee.
Okay. Coffee is a kind of tea, but that's a conversation for a different day.
Bean tea.
That's a conversation to be had when you're older.
Mm-hmm. Anywho's, Caelum. We last left with you telling Gwen to study by herself for a couple days. So what were you going to investigate?
Oh, the bow.
Okay.
He's gonna spend a lot more time trancing and sleeping to try and get back to that memory.
Okay. Yeah. So as you do, one of the things that you notice is that it does spend a lot of time in the woods. However, you do feel that same tightness in your chest, and every once in a while, it transfers over. And as you spend more time sleeping, more time meditating on this, the more that you spend in the city itself, and the thing that you notice is that is effectively what the convergence is. There is a moment where you are hunting with this bow. It is late at night. You're done. You make a little camp, and that tightness in your chest rises to your throat, and you find that you have difficulty breathing. And when you look down, you can see that that bow is actually pressed up against your neck. And there are the hands that you are used to hunting wildlife, gripping the sides of it, trying to pull it back. And then there are the gloved hands that are pulling it closer. And you experience the moment where this bow stops belonging to the first individual. It is instead belonging to this black-gloved person who is here. throughout your extended trials, Caelum, I would like for you to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh boy, I love these. 24.
24. There is one night where you are focusing on this bow, and it is after that transition has been made between the previous owners, and you feel that same tightness in your chest. And when the figure looks, you can see walking down the street, coming towards you, is a large white wolf. And you recognize that wolf to be the friend of the hunter. And there is a moment where there is a quick turn as the person with the bow realizes that they are not the ones who have been hunting, and that they need to get out. They need to be anywhere but here. And Caelum, to say that you've been taken over before would make it sound like that's only happened once. You're pretty accustomed to like a ghost or the spirit of Shar. A lot of things have taken over this poor boy, and this bow is actively trying to do the same thing. And you are able to suppress it. Because you have gotten the understanding that this weapon, this Kaedrim bow, was not utilized by one of the good guys, to put it lightly. This was being used by the hands, or at least one of these ne'er-do-well criminals.
Caelum wakes up, cold sweat, looks at the bow. He doesn't quite toss it away from himself, but he'll lean it against the wall and pick up Hiram's spear. The wielder of the bow is a criminal.
And there is like an acknowledging, an affirmative humph that comes from Hiram.
The original owner was a hunter. Their companion found the person who killed them. Why am I seeing two separate memories then? Can two souls reside in a weapon?
The spirit, when placed inside, it is a actionable thing. It is not something that happens by accident. If you are seeing multiple spirits inside of this weapon, it could be that they are both in there. It could be that this is how the criminal that you have stated is attached to this weapon lures individuals into using them. Or it could be something else entirely. What I do know is that from what you have described, it is dangerous. You have been actively using it, correct?
Yeah.
Then it is only a matter of time before it remembers who they are.
The last memory that I had while holding the bow, it wasn't malevolent, though. They were more afraid of than anything.
The friend of this hunter. What did they look like?
A white wolf?
And there is a pause. And Hiram says, You should dabble with this bow no further.
May I ask why?
The White Wolf, if this is the same with whom I expect it to be, was known as Oakrear. Oakrear was a creature that existed within the forests. They hailed from the gates of the Mother. They are not of this plane, but chose to call it theirs and adapted. It is said, and through this conversation, I would say confirmed, Oakrear is a curse. They will not cease until the one who has wronged their master, their friend, as you described them, is taken. They are unstoppable in their cursed state.
Is there a way to purify them aside from finding the person who murdered their friend? I don't think we'd be able to do that.
I am unsure. This is now, if you are seeing them, a curse that is as old as the empire beneath the waves.
Simon,
Yeah.
to you, were we able to... The Gate of the Mother.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what we know about it.
The Gates of the Mother was a area, it was like a mountainous pass that led from where the Kaedrim Empire was to where Illyria is today. But it was essentially a forever shifting area that was a like active gate to a Feywild, to elements of the Feywild.
I wonder if Rife knows anything about this.
Possibly.
He will leave the bow there, but put his cloak over it so no one like picks it up.
Okay.
And he's gonna go find Cori.
Yeah, and Cori, I mean, you could be doing whatever. There's nothing like. Has there been anything that you wanted to do explicitly on this boat
Making
ride?
out with Olivia, yet the door bursts open. Oh, and the door closes.
No.
Sending a letter home to your mom, be like, Mom.
Mama didn't raise no snitch, okay? Cori's gonna be fucking around with her armor of etherealness.
Okay.
Like, she's never been to the ethereal plane before. She's gonna make sure that the first time she does that is not during combat.
It's like this plane, but a lot more ethereal.
Yeah, Cori, one thing that you noticed while in the plane of ethereal, in the ethereal plane, not plane of etherealness, that doesn't make any sense. In the ethereal plane, much in the same way that you had described in Nights in the Courtyard, wanting to see like people's auras, like the general vibe that they give off, in the ethereal plane, you can kind of see that. Like everyone has this sort of like spirit outline to them, kind of what denotes where they are on the ethereal plane. And I would say that, like, for example, while on the ethereal plane, when you have like observed Gwen, because you can like pass through walls, you're a ghost for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I mean, like, Coriander, Divine Sense, Jonquil is gonna go and look at everybody's auras.
Oh,
sure.
yeah. Yeah, Gwen surprisingly has the strongest aura. out of the individuals that you have encountered, not necessarily because it is her own, but because it is an aura that has been compounded by all of the Goliaths that she houses. So there is just like a glowing light, and it's coming from the smallest person on the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's just like shielding their eyes from Gwen. He goes like, what? What?
Yeah.
There's something in my face?
Inside of Gwen's room, it is also noted that you do see that there is like a sickly dark aura that seems to like spiral in on itself. And it looks like it's pulling. And like as an ethereal ghost, you like go in and look, and who would have guessed that it's the book Tharsden gave Gwen?
Still in ethereal form, just like go and like poke at that book.
Okay, yeah, I mean you can't interact with it, but like you get your finger near it, and there is a like as you are getting your finger near it, you can hear a scritching from inside of the book. And it sounds like it is a pen on paper.
Makes a mental note to herself to talk to Gwen about that later. All right. I want to say that Caelum looking for Cori doesn't find her for like an alarming 5 or so minutes.
Olivia has not seen her. Yeah. Until what?
Until, I don't know, she like happens to be walking down a hallway and sees Caelum freaking out trying to find her. And she'll just pop back into existence in front of him.
He's not freaking out per se. He is looking, though.
Oh. Okay.
What does Cori see for Caelum's aura?
Caelum's aura is... His is a strange one. In that there is this... There is the aura of Caelum. There is that kind of like lightish, steely blue. But then there seems to be like a secondary aura that's laid over it. That has more of like a starry texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're guessing that that has to do with like the different blessings and all of the shit that he's received from all of the different deities. Your own is like a golden color, like the sun.
Mm-hmm. What about Arjhan's aura?
Arjhan, what would your aura look like?
Just a guy.
Just like very small.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy and my life is a nightmare.
Alright.
Yeah, and Oliviette would have
peek
like...
in and he's like looking over alchemical formulas. Because he is looking at that thing that he got from Tyler's lab. Trying to figure out exactly how much it's going to cost him. How much time.
Yeah, and I would say that
It's
the
too
only
much.
other individual who would have a like aura of remark would be Oliviette herself, where her aura looks more like silvered fire.
That tracks.
If Sigurd were still alive, he'd look like he's drowning.
It's just a ghost steadily following after the ship, being like, "You forgot me."
Love,
No.
love, baby.
Yeah, so Cora, you apparate directly in front of Caelum.
Oh, hi, Cori.
Hello.
I need to speak with Rife.
I don't know if you can do that. Excuse me, sir. That's not yours.
Well, you're kind of their Caelum, so I figured you could mediate.
Oh, yes, I can do that. By the way, have you seen that book that Gwen has?
Which book?
The one that we told her not to write in.
Oh, the one from... No? heard her talking to herself a bit ago, though.
Concerning. I've had a chance to glance at it from the ethereal plane, and it is every bit as nasty as we feared it was.
Yeah, we're sort of good at picking up things with strange auras.
Cori's gonna tap her ring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Wraith is there.
Caelum has a few questions for you.
If that's okay.
And Wraith is on your finger. It's not like they have nothing else going on. There hasn't been combat. They haven't been to the Feywild.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Kind of chilling in their eternal prison.
Now I feel bad. Wraith, do you know of any Fey creatures that have taken the form of a white wolf? They go by the name Oakhide?
Oakrear.
Oakrear.
Okrir.
Not like tree butt.
Not tree butt.
Like okra butt.
Yes, sure. You found out that one of the other reasons it's a curse now is because it fucking hates its own name, but...
I mean, oh good god, that'd be a great fucking hook.
I was kissed by a witch.
Yep.
And was cursed to respond to only one word, and that word is my fucking name.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Let's see if Wraith knows anything about this. Yeah. Wraith states that they are familiar with the Fae that took the form of the White Wolf, Oakrear. They hail from the Island of Summer.
They are. Hail from the Isle of Summer.
Cool. Cool. This might be in your wheelhouse, but what if I came into the possession of an item that was being possessed by the spirit of Oakrear in their eternal quest to hunt down their friend's murderer?
Have you familiarized yourself with this item, or have you simply discovered it?
I've been getting dreams from said item looking into the past. So I don't know, maybe somewhere in the familiar territory.
Then you possess the scent of the murderer who sent its friend to their grave.
Great. So...
Pray they do not find you. Do you have any more questions?
Is there any way to cleanse him of this scent?
Oakrear is intelligent. Should you be in a situation where you are able to speak with them, I pray you the guidance that will allow you to convince them not to kill you. In the meantime, your friend, Caelum, is... And, like, they're speaking to you directly, Cori.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They're capable of communicating with creatures on a variety of planes through a variety of means, is he not?
He is, yes.
Would he not be able to speak with this curse? I am unfamiliar. He's a powerful magic user. I'm not exactly confident.
Confident in his ability to speak with it, or his ability to convince it not to hunt him down?
The latter.
What if he were to invoke your name and mine?
To invoke my name, to summon me for this, I would need to be in my place of power.
No, not to summon you, but if I were to give him permission to speak my name for protection.
There is a pause. And, like, while you cannot see Ryth, you can hear the swishing of their 1,000 tails as they contemplate this. Like, you just get that sense that it's like, oh, they're thinking. That's not good. And the response that you get from Ryth is, your friend is a cleric. Was a cleric. To many a god. Wards, barriers, magic circles, and the like. These can all be used to speak with those that are not of this plane. Does he believe in you as a god? Or does he only believe in you as a friend?
I suppose that's not for me to say.
Then I do not know whether or not his invocation of your name would assist in the matter.
I'm not concerned about Caelum's opinion of me. I'm concerned about the wolves.
Then I am unsure.
Cori has a one-sided conversation.
Leaning over to hear him. What do you think they're talking about?
And Hiram, when you ask what do you think they're talking about, Hiram just says, like, hopefully the location of where this item that you were searching for lies.
Right. Well, if Oakrear is coming to hunt me down, couldn't I just offer them the murder weapon? Or is it just gonna come after me because I have the scent now?
There is a pause. There is danger in familiarizing yourself with the unknown.
Oh, you are preaching to the choir, my friend.
This is simply one of those dangers. You are capable. I have seen you fight. I have watched you now lay waste to a multitude of things. One wolf should not be difficult.
But we're talking about a fey wolf here.
I have slain many fey.
I'm going to forget to mention that to Cori.
If they bleed, you can kill it.
Yeah. I can always banish it back to the Feywild, that too. Okay.
Cori's attention will snap from the middle distance back to Caelum.
Hi, welcome back.
Well, you do have the stink of a murderer on you. If it does hunt you down, we'll pray that the rest of us are around to help you. But you're smart, you're powerful. I think you could find your way to weasel your way out of it.
I'm pretty sure the scent of a murderer is nothing new on me, but yeah, alright.
Just be aware of the dangers and watch your back.
That's what I have all of you for, right?
And hey, you could probably try and reason with it, tell him that you know a Caelum.
I know several Caelums. Here's the thought. Thanks, Cori. Ryth.
And Ryth is like mentally like, I didn't do anything.
Ryth gave us a bit of information. It's fine. Thank you, Ryth.
Yeah, no, right, thanks.
From Ryth's perspective, they did nothing.
Doesn't mean I can't be thankful for you being here, Ryth. You're important to us.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Arjhan, at some point after this, he's gonna come in with some papers, and just be like, that's my only thinking, just like, right, Cori, the Fey time dilation, is that just random, or do you actually have some sort of control over that?
It can be predicted, and the judges 3 do have some control over it, yes.
What is the cost of manipulating time?
Substantial,
Of
but
asking for them to manipulate time.
substantial, but not without your capabilities, I think. What in particular do you need?
Time. I have a formula for a very expensive potion that is going to take me half a year.
Ah.
And I would very much like to have at least one vial of this potion before we head into the abyss.
Intriguing. I do believe that my mother would be willing to house you for the time that this would take.
I only want to attempt this if I know that I'm not going to be wasting time.
Of course.
Which means I need to know all of what I'm about to get into.
She nods, and she's gonna snap her fingers, and the distant sound of hooves precedes the arrival of Ambleforth.
Just like, again, like behind like a cabinet, just like, I was here the whole time.
Sorry,
She'll
was I interrupting something you saying?
Oh no, we're done. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can go.
Cori's gonna produce some parchment and a quill and start a florid letterhead to her mother, and then like basically have Arjhan dictate precisely what he needs.
Okay. Yeah. So asking for, like, can we control the time? How much would controlling the time cost us as like an added expenditure? And then asking if she would be up to housing Arjhan for the time.
Arjhan can find a place if not, but more so he wants to know like what sort of arrangement he would need to do.
Yeah. So yeah, you send the letter, and you actually get a response very quickly back. It does not come on Ambleforth. It comes back on a speedy courier. But the speedy courier that you can see actually, like, it has the sound of one of the like mnemonic tubes. Just thunk, and it's like a bird, and the bird just like shoots through the wall. It's like going at the speed of the Flash, where like you're able to transpose through solid objects, but then is just like embedded into a wall with this container like built into its back. It's a mechanical bird. Tube opens up. You receive the response for the letter. She would be willing to house Arjhan. That's no issue. Any friend of yours is a friend of hers. And with the judges 3, normally there would be a cost associated with the controlled elements of time. However, they do owe you still to a degree. You have their thanks, and for that, they are willing to allow a relatively quick a relatively controlled time dilation. So should you choose a specific method that you wish for your days to traverse, they are willing to hear you out on this. So should you need any amount of time, the judges 3 are more than willing to meet you at the time that you need expended.
And it shouldn't be that hard for them. Feywild usually runs faster than here anyhow.
Okay, now is that just like if I show up on the return trip, I would like what?
It's
How
a
are the
form.
logistics?
Yeah, it's a form that you fill out.
The date of your arrival, the date of your
it's
return.
it's like a visa kind of thing. Like
the time that would pass in between.
Yeah. So you would it would effectively be you would feel time go as normal, but you would know that on the material plane and all planes associated with the time of the material plane, it would function at the same speed.
Okay.
You know, Arjhan,
Wait.
it might be an interesting business proposition to set up a branch in the Feywild. I mean,
Well, that's I'll have half a year. I won't be just working on the potion. So
she's going to roll up the paperwork and
I'm
get it
not
into the
doing
scroll
Feywild
case.
Small Business Simulator. we're not gonna play out in real time.
No, not
what
in real
happens
time.
within these 6 hours.
Oh no, we're mandating this quick. We're mandating this quick play.
Did somebody say downtime? Hold on, let me get on my charts.
Okay.
Keep on cutting
just
back
to let
the rest.
everybody in on what's going on. The Potion of Draconic Majesty, which I have the formula for, it's a legendary potion. That means it's gonna take 50,000 gold pieces and 25 work weeks to do. That's 175 days. I would like days to pass like minutes. I would like this to be doable within 3 hours.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But in that half a year, yes, I would definitely like to expand business operations there.
Okay. Which
Like
island would you prefer your business operations be set on?
Autumn.
Autumn? Okay, sounds good. Yeah.
Cori happens to own land there that you might be. She would be amenable to you sharing part of her mansion for
You can have the guest quarters.
well,
It's like Until
not like
Dawn
she's
over here.
it's not like she spends much time there anyway, and it was half built when she got there anyhow. So what I'm saying is like turn it into more of like a cozy cottage situation that's like alchemy, like potion brewing area.
It's
And-
just like that little. It's like Shrek 2,
Yeah, it's precisely that.
That-
And
that
this time
little
we'll have
cottage.
dental.
with just like the big, like multicolored.
Yeah.
Smokestacks.
Yes.
Yeah, there was even
absolutely.
that dusk hag who still lives
Yes.
on Autumn who's like,
That's
hey,
right.
neighbor, what you doing? That looks
That's what I
fun.
was
Mind if
about
I
to
tag
say.
in? Like,
I'm like, there's so many like hags on the
I hate-
autumn aisle.
I do have a specific question.
yeah.
One of the potion's ingredients is very specific.
Yep.
Do my scales work?
They would. I would say so, yeah. Okay. So yeah, Arjhan, you're just gone for like six hours? Or 3
just
hours?
Just under 3 hours.
Okay.
If I can. If I have enough money.
Arjhan, make a persuasion check.
Okay. First off, blood die. Not blood die. Not blood dye.
Hey man, you got 175 uses of blood dye apparently.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it would need to be the one on that day.
Mm-hmm.
Forceful presence.
Yeah.
Cori would happily accompany him to the Feywild just to help.
Nine.
Also wrap up some
A
Caelum
9?
duties.
9.
And that's do you have advantage when you do?
So my blood die was a 2.
Ooh.
My advantage was a 1 and a 9.
Oh boy. Okay. So with a 9, you would be able to knock off, because it's 50,000, right?
Let me double check.
50,000 gold?
I believe that's right.
Okay. You could knock off 15,000 from the overall cost, but the Feywild branch of Tyrant Security is joint owned by Cori's mom.
Done.
Okay. Yeah. So then it'd be 35,000 gold.
Per.
Per potion. Right? Because it was the 50,000 for the total?
Which I need to double check. I believe that's right. Yes.
Yeah. So then knock off 15,000 of that, which would bring it down to 35.
Okay. And if I spend the whole year,
The whole year, I would say you could have that because you're not rushing the components.
I want to make 2.
Oh, you want to make 2? Okay. Yeah, for sure.
If I spend the whole year, that would be 6 hours.
Okay.
175 minutes per. And yeah, I just want to check that I have the money. I'm doing base 10 conversions. It's I have it.
Okay.
One day I will request renewal to take money out of my board.
For sure. In the meantime, though, I mean, over the course of a day, Arjhan, you have just lived a year. And in this year, you were focused on the potion, but there wasn't anybody talking about a Caius thing. There weren't any cursed weapons. There weren't any gods getting up into your bullshit. You were just kind of left alone to do your own thing. And in a way, like, this year was nice. It was a nice year to just, like, be yourself a little bit.
Did Cori come?
Only if she wanted to.
Yeah, she would, but she wouldn't be like constantly hanging over Arjhan's shoulder, like, "What you doing, Arjhan?" No, she goes and handles some Caelum business.
Yeah, there's Caelum business. You know, there's that thing where, like, the Shadowfell is right on the edge of the Feywild now.
Yep.
Diantha actually will, like, pull you aside to, like, ask how Caelum's doing, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's...
This is so stupid.
Yeah.
Would I be able to hunt down the wolf that's hunting Caelum?
You wouldn't be able to hunt down the wolf necessarily, but you would be able to at least hunt down information about the wolf.
I will do that.
So...
Just, like, go find him and be like, "Hey, you little shit."
Hey!
No.
Newspaper on the nose, like, stop. So yeah, you end up finding out about this wolf, effectively what its curse is, because again, it stopped being it by itself while living on the material plane, ended up dying. It is no longer living. It itself became a curse. So if you were to say remove curse, or use some sort of magics to alleviate Caelum from that, you could. Otherwise, you realize and kind of get the information of what would happen is that if Caelum were to fall in battle, if he were to go down, as he would effectively have disadvantage on death saving throws as the spirit of this wolf attacks the individual responsible for the murder of its friend.
How do you naturally have disadvantage on saving throws? Don't put this curse on me.
Interesting.
You're attuned to the weapon.
I know.
All
You
right.
put the curse on you.
All right. I got it.
Okay.
That's fine.
I could also have got it, but
yeah. So Cori, and then of course, like, you go and like check out on the group of individuals that you had set up in winter at the ancient city, and like they're all very excited. There have been amazing discoveries that have happened in this city while you've been gone. We can get more into those over the coming weeks as that information kind of plays out. Arjhan, again, like, Cori shows up every once in a while. It's nice to see a familiar. It's nice to see a familiar face every once in a while. But yeah, you can spend a year here in the Feywild. And with Gwen and Caelum, after about 6 hours of Cori and Arjhan being like, "Hey, let's duck out for a quick second," like, they leave like mid-morning, like later in the evening, and they both come back.
Caelum.
So good to see y'all.
Presenting mail now. Caelum, I have something very important to tell you.
Yes?
You're healed. Remove curse.
And the remove curse will also stop any potential attunement to said bow.
Oh, wait, hold on. Damn it. I was gonna try to bargain with him.
Well, I suppose there's nothing preventing you from doing that again. But do know that it makes you much more likely to die.
Wait, what?
Wait, what?
The wolf will hunt you in the twilight of your life. If you fall in battle, that is when he will come to you.
Wait, when did this become a Zelda game? What are you talking about?
Oh, right, the bow.
You're bleeding, Arjhan.
Cast exposition to Arjhan.
You play with Ghost Bow, okay. I guess if you want to keep doing that, I could also remove a curse.
I just think that it's a bit pitiable, you know? This creature watched its friend die, and then it's now so angry it's gonna hunt down whoever wields the bow because it just has the scent of someone who died a long time ago. I don't know.
I understand, Caelum. Maybe after all this is over, we can put it on the long list of things that I intend to do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that I want to set right in the world. This can be one of them.
You're gonna be very busy after this. You do know that, right?
Of course. Well, I knew what I was getting into. I'm a Caelum after all.
Oh, did Diantha ask about me?
No.
Oh, okay.
Of course she did, you ninny. She's head over heels for you.
I gotta go write a thing. Oh, okay, I'll see you guys later. Can someone check on Gwen to see if she's still, Caelum has turned like this bright purple as he shuffles away.
Gwen.
Gwen just in her room with her feet kicked up on her bed. Dear diary.
It's the black book, though. Probably just finished reading your scrolls for the day.
Yeah.
Dear Princess Starsden.
Well, yes.
I made a thing.
Hi. I guess.
I can turn into a dragon. I can only do it once, though.
Aren't you? You're not. Okay, cool. Like once a day?
No, just like once.
Oh. What kind of dragon?
Whatever kind my skills were originally, so I assume. Black dragon.
Cool. But you can only do it once. So it's not like a show me now thing?
Right. I mean,
Don't do it now. No, no,
I
no.
shouldn't.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Until I can figure out how to make more quickly.
Yeah.
Because this took half a year.
Have you been bringing it in your pants?
No.
Cool.
Were you literally writing in the black book whenever I came in?
No, she was reading her scrolls.
Okay. Caelum asked me to check that you were reading your scrolls.
Yes, I'm reading I'm not a fucking child. I
I'm
don't want to do it,
sorry,
but I will do it.
I forgot what was happening here.
But same, okay? Dude, me constantly. I don't know what you guys... This traveling bullshit, and then on top of that I have to read. It's just, like, mind-numbing. I worked out once this trip, and I don't even have to because I have a thing that makes me magically stronger. I've just been talking to, like, the spirits in my head constantly. Which I normally do, but, you know, it's just, like...
I get the
Sorry.
feeling from this conversation that this is when you show back up to work after an extended vacation and like everyone is still dealing with like the general like cubicle bullshit and you're still in like good like I had a vacation mood and you're like, oh, the more I talk to others. Incredible.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you were able to make that thing. I'm proud of you, buddy.
Are you just sitting here alone with the voices in your head? Is that just a ongoing thing? Should we be...
You do know that I have, like, a bunch of spirits living in my body.
Yeah, there haven't been any, like, new developments with that we should be concerned about, right?
I mean, there have been some arguments. I guess I don't... What do you mean?
I don't know.
I mean, Gray Skull gets a little territorial from time to time because we're, like, best friends. And then, like, the other ones try and, like, slip in. And I've been trying to, like, learn a little bit about each of them. And he gets a little jealous, so... There's been that.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like it's... I lost my handle on what's specifically going on with everybody's deal.
Yeah, no, I'm chill. Like, I'm like the least of everyone's worries normally, so I'm used to that.
I felt like I was very concerned about something that you had a few hours ago, but I'm sure it's nothing.
All right,
Okay.
why don't you go
Okay.
get some sleep, my dude?
Yeah, I should probably do that.
All right.
Yeah, Gwen, as you say that, like, there's also that moment where you're like, he looks really relaxed. Like, I don't know what happened, but, like, he
Yeah.
definitely doesn't have, like, that same amount of tension in his shoulders over the last little bit. These
Weird.
last 6 hours, they've been really good for him.
Yeah, right? You probably just took a nap, like a really good nap where
A
you
really
wake up at
solid
the right time.
In contrast, like Cori's the exact opposite, just like all stressed out from going home and like dealing with family
Mhm.
bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Gwen's
Oh,
just
yeah.
in her room.
Yeah, and Cori, I would say that over that year as well, your dad does send a letter home
Mm-hmm.
explaining the situation, and your mom is happy for him.
Good.
Yeah.
She didn't just like randomly show up at
Poor-
Arjhan's doorstep.
Cori 100% was avoiding her the entire time.
No,
they
like,
were
it'll,
there.
like, it's gonna be, like, one of those, like, you're at a family dinner, and it gets to that quiet part, and she'll ask, like, so, did you know your father has a girlfriend? Like, that sort of thing. Like, and then just, like, from what I've heard, she's rather nice. Like, that kind of thing. Like, again, like, your Fae parents aren't, like, they don't have the same, like,
Yeah,
us
no,
two
of course.
forevers kind of thing. Like, it's very open between them.
Oh, that's very Eldrin of them,
Yeah.
actually.
And it's like, oh, yeah, I understand. Like,
I don't
from
know why
her perspective, he's been gone for years.
I don't know why I'm surprised. I told you this.
You did! That was, like, day one! Anywho's. So, all of your travels culminate as the Moonrunner finally gets to what looks like an area of drastically clouded skies, but the skies all seem to twist and turn into a centralized point, like they are moving towards this kind of central area. And you can feel the overall currents of the waters beginning to get a little bit more dangerous as well. And passing around a telescope, Oliviette will actually show what appears to be the Maelstrom. And when you look at it from afar, because that is the only way that she feels even comfortable getting close to this thing in her vessel, is that it looks like it is just a large funnel of water that seems to kind of spiral down. And as you kind of get a look at it, and using a variety of methods, as many of you have the ability to fly, you kind of can get a good look down into it. Oliviette advises not to fly directly over it, lest anything happen, but getting as close as you are able to. You can see that at it goes on for thousands of feet in this dark tunnel that seems to just extend down towards the ocean's floor. But it is it's dark in that you can't see defined forms, but you just see that there are like bursts of color. There are reds, blues, like a turquoise, purple. Like they just sort of seem to like almost like it's crackling with some sort of electricity as it is near this place. And Hiram, who has been with you this whole time, like as you are getting closer, he can feel his connection to his home. And he knows that you are also relatively close to the Empire, the Sunken Empire. With that, if there are any, now is the time to we can get into deciding on items and attunement and everything like that over the week's break until next session. But in the meantime, you're all able to get inside of the apparatus. Yes, Caelum?
Did Gwen finish the scrolls in time?
Gwen does finish the scrolls in time. So Gwen, increase your Constitution score by 2 permanently.
And your max also increases by 2.
Yep. Your AC, your max health, and the score itself associated with the save all increase. So
But
just
if
make
you,
a note.
If you just update the con, and everything will
Do it for you. Yeah. Okay, so you all managed to get inside of the submersible that you have built over the extended period of time, and together you begin your descent. And as you begin to sink down beneath the waves, looking through the viewport off in the distance, you can see what looks like that pillar, the Maelstrom, that seems to just extend down deeper. And as you are also, again, descending through these waves, you can see that it just continues to go and go and go. And it does get more, like, it does kind of like shave off as it goes down, as it again is in more of this conical shape. And you reach that like 800 feet. You can hear, and it's very strange being in this submersible hundreds of feet beneath the waves. Yeah, we did it. Because you can hear the sound of that metal groaning, that you know that that is the only thing between you and the entirety of the ocean. You get to 1,000 feet, 1,200, 300, and eventually you're at the point where like there are whales swimming above you and you are just still descending down. And as you do,
the worst part of Subnautica.
There is no easy source of light. You know that, again, at this point, you are over 1,000 feet beneath the surface of the ocean. Gwen, you start to hear something creeping up from the base of your spine. You hear doo, 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 doo. And there is a moment where, upon hearing this, there is confusion and then there is a realization. Because with this, the spirits that are inside of you, they all are confused except for Salamarn, whose eyes are wide, and she is afraid. Because you have played this song before. This is the song that you initially played on your flute to Caelum on the cliff face of Shroudport. The title of this song in Goliath culture is The Coming of the Leviathan. And that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. So, hey guys, we're beneath the waves. We did it. Haha, 18 episodes into this season. But hey, we did it. We're having a good time. We're having fun. I hope you guys enjoy that fun, fresh, sexy little callback that we did to some of our earlier sessions. I'm having a blast, but I always have a blast whenever these folks are on the channel. Hey, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, everybody. I'm RJ. You can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my friends. If you want to see me anywhere else, you can check out my Twitter, because I normally retweet when I go live in places. DanaeKeener.com.
LBHackEmUp. I'm scared. I'm afraid. I'll be live tomorrow at 3. DanaeKeener.com.
Hoi, I'm Cyber. You can find me here on Mondays, and I started streaming on my channel again on Saturdays. I don't know what I'm playing though.
You were playing
played-
Breath of the Wild. It was very fun.
I don't know if it's gonna be an ongoing thing, or it's just like, oh, this is neat. Anyway, DanaeKeener.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. You can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter. I've got a pinned tweet there with my schedule on it. Pink Dad's Polly, DanaeKeener.com.
Oh, right. It's me. Hello, everybody. I am the Indoor Adventurer, and if you've made it this far in the show, you probably already knew that. But did you know that all of our games can actually be found on YouTube at youtube.com/indooradventures, as well as anywhere audio casts are being made available for free under that same moniker. And did you know that we actually have an after show called Nights in the Courtyard that we like to do for all you acorns out there, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, you can feel free to join us again at patreon.com/indooradventures. But we are going to be heading off into that after show. So I'd like to say, first and foremost, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful adventure. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.